All right, welcome everyone to our little webinar tonight. We just want to give you a little more information about this wonderful patch technology that we've been talking to some of you about. And so we invited a few of our friends on tonight to share their story. But first, I'm going to let Dr. Stan do just a quick disclaimer.
Hey guys, welcome to our podcast. We're so excited you decided to jump on and learn a little bit more about this technology that's changing people's lives. And as you will hear some amazing testimonies, you're going to hear some stories that will just blow your mind. But we're not here to prescribe, diagnose, or treat any medical condition. We're not your medical doctor or physicians. If you need medical advice, you need to go see your medical doctor, medical practitioner, and that also includes women who are pregnant and nursing, as that is classified as a medical condition. So, with that, Jody, take it away.
All right. First, I just want to tell you guys why I got involved with this very quickly, and then we're going to go to Sherry, and then we're going to go to Cindy because they both are on time crunches right now. But 4 years ago, almost, was talking to a friend of mine, and I had heard about this technology, but I just thought it was hokey. And how could a little patch do what they said that it did? And I really didn't look into it. It just wasn't the right time. But when I was talking to her, she asked me, and I heard of it after we had talked for like an hour probably about other things. And I said, yes, but it just makes no sense. It seems hokey to me. And she said, well, all I know is I used it for 43 days, went to my oncologist, and she has had a terminal cancer since 2014 with a 5 to 8 year life expectancy. And this was in year seven, she started patching. And in 43 days, her oncologist was blown away with the improvement in her blood work and her CT. And that got my attention because Dr. Stan and I have been trying to, help her on this journey since 2014. And that was huge because she had had a rough 7 years. Fast forward now, she couldn't get on tonight because she is keeping her two little granddaughters who are 1 and 3. But she is in year 11 of her 5 to 8 year life expectancy and doing wonderful. And her oncologist has released her, telling her that he has never before seen anyone with her type cancer get better. So that got me interested, and the rest is history. I reversed carpal tunnel completely. AFib I had had for 10 years, chronic neck and back pain. And we just love helping other people reverse their health problems that they have. But I love my friend Sherry. Her story is just very, very dear to all of us. But Sherry, just take a few minutes and tell us right quick, about your story and Eli and how this has changed your family's lives.
If I do that, it will take an hour, but I'll try to be brief. We started this technology because of my son. He was born very rare with a very rare disorder. And with that came a lot of complications because he died at just 14 days old. And when they brought him back, he suffered from brain damage and a lot of other complications that I won't get into. But over the years, trying to get him to progress past age 4 years old, since he was four, wasn't happening. The last doctor's appointment before patching told me to just kind of prepare him for, and myself, for him to be 4 years old mentally for the rest of his life. And that was hard to hear. And I just felt in my gut that that wasn't the end for him. And I had broke my spine 20 years ago in my 20s. And I could no longer lift him to change his diapers because he was going through 50 diapers a week. And I didn't know what to do. So I came up with a traveling changing table and an invention. So I started doing speaking engagements to kind of get the word out there about what we were doing and advocating for special needs. And I happened to meet a lady, Susan Cruz, that's local to us, a Christian radio station, at a business event, which I didn't want to go to because my anxiety was a level 20. I felt like I always had anxiety for since I was 14. So 30 years ago, I started getting paralyzing anxiety. Can't talk in front of people, can't talk on Zooms, can't hold a microphone, can't be on stage. I get such bad anxiety, I just cry when I try to talk or I pass out. It gets so bad because I also had open heart surgery. So if my anxiety gets high, then my heart rate gets high. If my heart rate gets high, then I pass out.
Oh, wow.
So if I were to work out, I would make sure I would have something on to make sure my heart rate didn't get over 130 or I would pass out. So since patching, for
Now,
me,
and you
I
might
have
have already told, but how old was Eli when you started patching him?
10.
Okay.
He is almost 13. So he was a little over 10. But for me, my instantly within the matter of a week, my anxiety went from 10 plus that I've dealt with for 20 years down to 0.
Wow.
I mean, no matter what I do, no matter how I present my invention and speak on different platforms, I have 0 anxiety now. That is the biggest win for me because I prayed 2 weeks before I met Susan, say, God, I cannot do my invention. I can't be on all these platforms. You called the wrong person. I can't do this because my anxiety was paralyzing. It was awful. I just in my back pain, I broke my spine in my 20s, and my back pain was also a level 10 most days for 20 years. I couldn't carry my daughter up the stairs. She was a baby. I had to have somebody come up because we moved into a 2-story house, and I had to have somebody carry her. Or if I did it, I would have to lay on the floor 2 to 3 times a day for 30 minutes just so I could breathe, stand, sit. If I stood or sat for more than 5 minutes, I would have to get up and down and move because my spine was hurting that bad.
Wow.
Again, why I came up with our invention for my son. Well, this technology has changed my life. I never share my story because my son's story is so impactful.
Yours
I
is
mean, there's
too.
a lot more going on with me that I have had change. That is just I broke 8 bones throughout my body. Everything is healing. My spine, like so many things. But for my son, with his rare condition, like I said, he was only 4 years old mentally for 7 years. He had 15 vocal seizures a day, 50 diapers a week. He's had um, lots of different kinds of and types of seizures. He's also had a mini stroke, and the fine motor skills with autism is for him was pretty severe. He cannot do the basic skills: unbutton his pants, go to the bathroom, shower himself. The list is very long. Taking one-step instructions, good luck. I mean, trying to get him ready for the day before patching, I had to do it from start to finish. And reminding him how to even use a spoon some days because the seizures would just overtake his brain. You could just tell he wasn't there. There was no Eli there. And I would have to tell him how to use utensils. He was in preschool level work for 7 years. I'm homeschooling him, so that's super defeating as a mom. That I was like, I can't. I don't think I'm doing him any favors. Maybe I should put him to school in school. And I just knew God kept shutting those doors for a reason. Since patching, and we started him on X39 and Eon, game changer, life changing patches. Um, Within the first 24 hours, Eli's brain woke up. I can't describe it besides he had communication and eye contact like I've never seen before. And then within 2 days, I found him in the bathroom using the bathroom by himself. And I didn't know how he did that. And I asked him, how'd you get your pants off? He's like, I unbuttoned my pants. I'm like, what? He can't do that. By day 5, he went down from 50 diapers down to 5. In 6 months, he was seizure free, med free. We didn't do any holistic care for seizures anymore. OTPT and speech discharged us because they didn't feel the need that he needed it anymore. And in just a few short years, my 4-year-old mental disabled son has gone to mentally about 8 or 9 years old. He's almost 13. He is completely showering himself. Happened 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
He's he's never. He's the last couple of weeks. I'm like, he gets up. If he has an accident or whatever, he cleans himself up. He goes to take a shower because sometimes he still wets the bed. He cleans. He does it all by himself, which is a huge win for both of us. um, he's making his own breakfast. He loves to tell you, I can ride a bike without training wheels. We had to buy a special needs bike with special needs training wheels. The bike cost quite a bit of money just to get him to get into that because I wouldn't know if he was going to have a seizure, and he couldn't balance because he would have a seizure. So I sent him to camp for the first time last year. He's never been able to go to camp. Everywhere he goes, I go. I have to take care of him. I have to do all the things. And to have my hands kind of free a little bit and give him the reins has been a game changer. He's almost in third grade level work as of yesterday. He's almost finishing some second grade stuff. It's
Wow.
absolutely amazing.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing with us. It has been such a blessing to watch this journey with Eli over the last couple years, and he is such a blessing to so many people. But thank you, Sherry, for sharing that. Oh my gosh, we could do a whole hour with you with
Thank you.
Eli. Thank you. Cindy, we'll run out to you. Cindy is from Georgia, but she is on her second day in Disneyland.
Yes.
And she told me today, before patching, she could have never done that. But Cindy, you've been patching for about what, 14 months?
Yes, I have
And
14 months.
why did you start?
I started, I had stage 3 liver disease. It was called NASH, non-alcoholic liver disease. And I am no longer, I'm disease free, I guess you could say. As of June of this year, I came off of all my medication that the liver specialist put me on. And I'm his first patient out of 500 that has come off the drug. And I only took it for 11 months.
Wow.
But when I started patching in August of last year, within 3 months, my medication, I had come off most of my meds, and one was metformin, which I had taken for 15 years.
Wow.
Um, and then some other blood pressure medicine came off of those. The only one I'm still on is, and they've lowered the dosage. And I damaged my heart giving birth to my son. And so she's got me on that for right now. And she'll check me again in 6 months. And hopefully it'll either lower the dosage or maybe come off of it altogether. Don't know.
Right.
But um,
Tell us about your doctor visit last November.
yeah, I cried with the technician because she said, take a picture of this. And they did a fiber scan of my liver, and it showed that I went from 3 to 0. And within those few months, and I was like, I was hoping to be a 2. My son's a 0. I could not believe it. And she was just totally shocked. And
Wow.
the scarring in my liver is completely, it was a 13. And then when the first time they did the fiber scan, and what that means is that the stuff that passes through your liver, it was just sitting there. It wasn't going anywhere because of the scarring. And so it was blocking stuff from being released. So then I went in November when I did the fiber scan. It was from a 13 to 11.5. Like I said, I went in June and they did another fiber scan, and it's 7.4 with the scarring, still stage 0. And then 7.2 is perfect.
Wow.
So just a normal liver. So I'm almost there. I go back again in December. We're going to check it again, but he was totally shocked and everything. And I told him, I said, you got to let me grow. You got to let me do this and everything. So we're going to go back in December, do another check, and hopefully I'm still on the right track. And he said, I know you're patching, but I really can't say if that's what it is. And so that's when I asked him at point blank, I said, so how many out of your 500 patients are off the medication? And he said, you're it.
Wow.
So I
That is
started, yeah, I was just going to say, I started with X39 and IM because, of course, all the inflammation in my body. And then, of
yeah.
course, the X39 did the stem cell regeneration for me. And I feel so happy, so blessed to have been introduced to this by my girlfriend, Angela Smith, um, last year. Because when I called her, I was crying because I had no idea what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And look at me today. I'm in Disneyland of
It's
all places.
awesome. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. From stage
Mhm.
3 fatty liver disease to stage 0. That is just crazy. And enough energy to run around Disneyland for 2 days in a
For
row.
2 days now. I got one more day.
Oh my goodness. Well, girl, I will see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
We're
I
all, a
will.
lot of us are, well, Sherry is too. We're getting up and heading to California to our convention. But anyway, thank you for taking time out of your Disneyland day to share with
Yes,
us. I just love your
definitely.
story. Thank you so much.
All right. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in a couple days. Okay.
All righty, we'll
All
see
right.
you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.
All right, let's go over to Nancy and Sarah. They agreed to come on tonight, and Sarah has quite the amazing story, which was really a surprise to her when it happened. Hey, Sarah.
Hi.
All right, tell us a little bit about what happened to you when you started patching. What was going on before?
Well, I met Nancy at the health food store. We were getting water and started chatting with her, and she introduced me to the patch. Um, and the very next day, I believe, or a couple days later, we met and I started on it. And about 3 weeks later, I had tardive dyskinesia, which is where your face twitches all the time. It's like you can't, it never stays still. Always is always moving. Um, and so you look like you're 90 years old. It's just one of those things, I thought I just gonna have to learn to live with. I've had it for over 15 years, because I used to be quite a drug addict, apparently. And that that did it apparently. But they said that it was something I wasn't ever gonna get rid of. And after about 3 weeks, I noticed that my face wasn't moving and or as much. And now it's not at all. It is amazing. About 20 times a day, I look in the mirror and just flabbergasted, just absolutely flabbergasted. Um, that and also just like other people have said, um, I don't know exactly how quickly, but within probably, I don't know, a couple hours of having the patch on, just like my whole mood lifted. Like it was just like I don't know, release of anxiety and stress, and that's been getting better and better and better, which is such a gift. And even me being on here is quite a miracle because I would have never in a million years ever even considered um, getting on a Zoom or doing a podcast or doing anything like that. So that alone is a huge testimony.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and I have no desire to be in business or to like but I'm so blown away by the benefits of this patch, and I feel like everybody needs to be on it.
Yeah.
That I'm so excited about sharing it with everybody.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of disappointed in people's reactions, but that's going to change. Um, but yeah, it's
Well,
absolutely amazing.
it does
And
seem
then,
good to be true.
huh,
It does seem too good to be true. So you just
it
have to
really
give yourself
does. I
some
mean,
grace.
it's absolutely flabbergasting. Like putting this little sticker on your body,
Yeah.
has all these miraculous changes. But
Yep.
this is another awesome story. My dog, he's 6 and he had Lyme disease.
Hmm.
So for the last 2 years, he's just been getting older and acting like he, doesn't have the energy, and his fur was getting all matty and just, wasn't the healthiest. And then I took him in to get the rabies vaccine and flea and tick and heartworm, and he had a bad reaction to it and wouldn't stand up. He had a neurological reaction and he would not stand up. I had to have a neighbor come carry him outside to go to the bathroom and had to hold him up to go to the bathroom. Brought him to the vet the next day. They had to wheel him in on a cart because he had he couldn't stand. Um, and I'd only been in the patch maybe a week and a half, and I've been every day taking my patches off me and then putting it on my dog's collar.
Hmm.
Um, which really helped. But then when this happened, it was like just too much. So I took two brand new patches of the X39 and the Eon. And a couple hours later, he was standing by the door. And the next morning, he was chasing after the hose. And now he acts like he's 2 years old. His fur is
Oh.
all getting shiny and black again. And he hasn't limped at all or rinsed or anything. It is amazing. So,
Wow, that's so fun. Animals need stem cell activation too, don't they?
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
All right, Nancy, I know you've had some good results, and we'll have to have both of you guys back on, but we have about 2 minutes. What can you tell us that's happened
Oh,
to you?
well, I've been on it for 2 years, so
Perfect.
I'll try to be short.
I don't know how you can fit that into 2 minutes, but we'll
Right.
have you back.
Well, my responses have really just been very gradual,
Mhm,
but I started on it right after I had my first knee replacement,
mhm,
and I kept for the whole first month I kept saying the jury is still out there, the jury is still out there, and after that I suddenly felt what she felt the first hour, this release of anxiety,
mhm.
and suddenly it was like life was so much better. I was a few months later, my other knee acted up, and I went in and got a cortisone shot and was told to see the surgeon and talk to him. And I told him about the patches I was wearing. He said, "Well, you can go ahead and wear them, but they won't work." So I was scheduled for surgery in May, and I ended up postponing it because no pain came back. And I
Wow.
scheduled it for the fall because I was gone all summer. And when I came back in the fall, I canceled it entirely, and I've never had that knee have surgery, and it's doing just fine.
Wow.
Um, yeah, yeah.
That's
So
huge.
yeah, the other thing I've really noticed, I mean, I'm 76. I stopped doing a lot of my yard work. I have lots of flower beds, and my cousin took care of everything for me, and I started working in them myself again. And I actually told her I didn't need her anymore. And I do a lot of it myself, and my niece helps me with some of the bigger projects, but it's just
Wow.
fun to be able to do that again.
So it gives your life back.
Mhm,
Yes,
mhm, mhm.
absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's awesome, Nancy. Went from
Yeah,
needing knee surgery to working in your garden again. That's
yeah.
pretty
Hmm.
crazy.
It's huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you, ladies, and we'll definitely have you guys back on a Monday night podcast when we have a little bit longer. But I'm just going to throw it over to Dr. Stan right now. Dr. Stan, tell us a little bit about what we're talking about, what it looks like, and why does it work?
All right, guys, we appreciate you hanging in here with us. We're going to give you a brief little overview of these patches that we've been talking about. And the company's a little over 20 years old. In fact, we're just celebrated our 20th anniversary last year. And our inventor, our owner, CEO, comes from a line of inventors. In fact, when he was a little child, that's all he ever wanted to be. When he grew up, was to be an inventor, and he was inventing motors, turbine motors, batteries, all kinds of wonderful technological engineering things for commercial, but also for military. He was actually working with the U.S. Navy, Navy SEALs, and helping them to develop some technology. And he introduced them to the very first patching system, which was called Energy Enhancer. And the patches were born because he had been studying longevity, stem cells, for about 10 years with a company. And so he had really gotten interested in longevity. Why do some species, some people live longer than others? Are there things that we could learn about? And then he basically uh, taught began to understand photobiomodulation, which is light therapy. Light therapy has been around for thousands of years between the sunlight, using glass. You can't hardly go anywhere today and not see infrared light treatments in doctor's office, massage places, in skin care. And our inventor, David, realized that our bodies emitted this far infrared light heat energy. And he knew that this light was the substance of life. We know when the sun comes down upon the earth, hits our body, it triggers vitamin D production because of these infrared light heat energy rays hitting our body. It can produce hormone production, many other things, photosynthesis in the plant kingdom. And so what he got to thinking about was, what if we could harness that infrared light heat energy that emanates from our body and capture it and recycle it, so to speak, by using this patching technology. Now, on the center of the patch, if you look real close, there's this round white circle. That's not a cloth. It's not any pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, vitamins, herbs, or anything like that. It is a nanocrystal. What on earth is a nanocrystal? It's a harmless crystal made up of organic substances that absorb this infrared light heat energy into the crystal and then bounces it back into the body at a certain wave light frequency. Now, just like when the sun's different frequencies hit the body and trigger different biological functions, he discovered that he could reflect the light back into the body and trigger peptide functions in the body. And particular with our X39, our flagship product. This is our stem cell activation patch. When you put this patch on your body, you get up every day. Clinical studies were done just by putting it behind your neck or below your belly button. You put it on in the morning, wear it 12 hours, take it off, discard it, wake up the next day, put on another patch, wear it for 12 hours, take it off. 12 on, 12 off. It's just that simple. And what you're doing during the 12 hours is elevating a GHK copper peptide, which tells your dormant stem cells to wake up. Stem cells are the only cells in the body that can reproduce, repair, renew, and heal any organ and system in the body. And unfortunately, as we get older, we start not having stem cell activation in our body like we did when we were in our teenage years or 20s. But as we get older, everybody begins to notice, I don't feel like I did 10 years ago. If you're 40, you don't feel like you're 30. If you're 50, so on and so on, because our stem cells are just going downhill every day of our life. But with this technology, you can reactivate those dormant stem cells in your body by simply wearing it 12 hours on and 12 hours off every day. You can get your body back to repairing, healing, restoring, and even reverse aging your body to where you'll not only start looking good, and feeling good, you will begin to add years to your life and life to your years. And it's just that simple by wearing a simple band-aid on your body every day for 12 hours on and off. All right, back to you, Jody.
All righty. Well, we've got about 3 minutes left if anybody wants to ask a question. We don't always have time to do that, but let me fix it where you can unmute yourself. Let me see if that worked. Yes. Okay. So if you have a question, you're welcome to unmute yourself because I know several of you are brand new to this, and we'll see if we can answer your question. Patrick said, does it help with menopausal symptoms? Absolutely. Stem cells can help with that. Many people that are having terrible hot flashes quit, they get better. And if they don't, after about 30 to 60 days, we have a patch called SP6 that actually helps to heal and regulate all of the endocrine system, which are all your glands. And so that's very helpful for people with hormonal problems or thyroid problems, things like that. But that's a great question. Great question. Anybody else have a question? Thank you to everyone that got on tonight to give your testimony. And these are just the kind of things we hear on a weekly basis. It's so exciting. And when Sarah was telling me about her dyskinesia, I was like, I don't know why I'm ever amazed, but I just thought that was so amazing. But I hear these stories every week, and I'm still blown away 4 years later by the things that get better. All righty. Well, I'm gonna stop the recording.